Hello, my name is Alison, and I have a lot to say about movies. From lists and stories to celebrities I love to look at and those who drive me crazy. Join me as I talk about whatever's on my mind at the moment. Welcome to Say Anything with Alison. Hey guys, it's Alison, and welcome to another episode of Say Anything with Alison. Today, I thought I would do another list, and this list actually came up recently when we were doing a new episode for Cinemadness Podcast. And I don't know, I think we were just kind of talking because one of the other hosts is writing a new script, like their own fan film for A Nightmare on Elm Street. And I don't want to go into detail because it's not my story to tell, but they're basically writing, Freddy Kruger as somebody who kind of is not just pops up in their dreams anymore, but is kind of in like the subconscious. I don't know. I'm not saying it right, of course, because it's not my story and it's not my script, but somehow we got on the subject of Freddy Krueger of somebody being in Afghanistan and in a war area. And I just came up with, that would be so funny if he popped into that scene from that movie because he doesn't belong. And, he's got the knives for fingers, and everybody just laughed and it was really funny. And I said, I'm going to come up with a list of famous movie scenes where it would be funny just to replace that actor or actress with Freddy Krueger, and he would just have to act that scene out. Like you're just watching your favorite movie and all of a sudden, boom, Freddy's in there as opposed to Yoda or, somebody like that. And so I don't know. I just thought it would be pretty funny to come up with a list of movie scenes that Freddy could be plucked out of Nightmare on Elm Street and just put in. So that's what we're going to do today. It's silly and it's funny, and I hope it makes you laugh. So number 10, we're going to do National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, specifically the Christmas Eve dinner scene. And I really want to just replace Chevy Chase with Freddy at the scene where he is cutting open the overcooked turkey, except Freddy is just going to do it with his fingers. He's got knives, right? So he can just, cut it himself. But I just want him to open up that poor excuse for a turkey where the smoke just comes up and it's all dehydrated, and he just, looks down and he's like, oh, and then he's like, here's the heart. I don't know. I just think that would be hilarious. And his sweater would go with the Christmas theme motif. So yeah, I like that one. Number 9 is going to be the classic Mommy Dearest. I would like to replace Freddy with, I would like to replace Freddy in the scene where Betty Davis says, no wire hangers. Like, I just want him to be in Christina's room, going through Christina's closet, and he just takes his glove and he just swipes all the wire hangers and they all get stuck on each of his fingers and he just goes crazy. He's got the makeup just like Betty Davis did, so why not? That would be great. So Mommy Dearest, number 9. Number 8, I would like to have Freddy play Macaulay Culkin's character, Kevin, in Home Alone. And I just want to pop Freddy into the aftershave scene, the classic scene where Macaulay Culkin takes his little 8-year-old boy hands and puts aftershave on his mouth or on his cheeks and goes, the whole that everybody famously knows. But I want Freddy to do that because it's so absurd. Freddy would never shave his face ew, can you imagine him shaving his face with all of his craters? Like, I just picture that one movie, Cabin Fever, where they drank that nasty water and the girl's shaving her legs and the skin just keeps coming off. Like, that's what I see. Oh, God, gross. So yeah, I just want, I just want Freddy to go, oh, that would be funny. Yeah. Okay. Number seven, I promise. Oh, you know what? I think going back to number 9, I think I said Betty Davis and I meant Joan Crawford. My apologies. Shame on me for getting the two of them confused. That was the incomparable Joan Crawford, not Betty Davis. My apologies. I need to watch Mommy Dearest again. Number 7, we're going to do Mrs. Doubtfire. I want to replace Mrs. Doubtfire with Freddy Krueger when she puts her face into the cake in the fridge and pops her head out and goes, hello. I want Freddy to do that, but I want the icing to just be kind of like falling off so you can still see who it is. And he gets frosting on his hat and he's just got that deep voice and maybe he can say, hello, welcome to primetime, bitch. I don't know. We need to put some of Freddy's famous quotes in here somewhere, but I just think that would be super funny because she blames the frosting on like a skincare routine, and clearly Freddy needs the best skincare routine there is. These are making me laugh, and I don't know if you guys are laughing or you probably think these are so silly, but I can just picture them, and I'm laughing at these. Number 6 is going to be the Pulp Fiction dance scene. Basically, I could replace him with Uma Thurman and John Travolta, but I think I want to replace Uma with Freddy because she does a lot of hand jive things where she takes her hands and she moves them back and forth like she's like I don't know, like, what is that move? Like a bear or something where she kind of shakes them back and forth. She also takes like the peace symbol and makes her hands horizontal and does the thing with her eyes. I think that would be funny with Freddy to do that too. I just don't picture Freddy as a good dancer. So I don't know. I think that's funny. And I guarantee you that Vincent Vega, played by John Travolta, wouldn't even pay attention. He wouldn't even realize that it was Freddy instead. He wouldn't mind. So maybe they'll win and then they can go get a $5 milkshake. Which $5 for a milkshake nowadays is kind of cheap, just saying. Number 5, Pretty Woman. Now there's 2 scenes in Pretty Woman that I think we could replace Julia Roberts with Freddy. One is when they're getting ready to go out to dinner. And I mean, this is one of the famous scenes. And Richard Gere opens up the necklace box and she puts her hand in it and it like, closes on her and she scoots her hand back out and she does that like laugh with, the horse mouth she's got. And I don't know, everybody thought she was so charming. I want that to be Freddy, but I want one of his fingers. I want one of his knife fingers to get stuck in the box. But then he giggles like a girl too. I think that would be cute. And then the next scene is when they go out to dinner and she's eating escargot. She's having a really hard time getting the snail out of the shell, and it kind of like pops out and flings across the dining room. And she says, slippery little suckers. I want him to do that, but I want him to use his fingers instead of the little fork. Thought that would be funny. Oh, you guys, clearly I'm going with a lot of scenes that have to do with him doing stuff with his fingers because that's just what came to my mind because it's funny. It's funny to me. Where was I? Number 4, Forrest Gump. There's probably a lot of scenes that we could put Freddy in, but my favorite is when he is coming up on the new boat that he bought, Jenny. He's going to name it Jenny. And he's waving at Lieutenant Dan, who is sitting in his wheelchair on the dock. And I know you guys have seen this meme 100 times. Tom Hanks just makes Forrest have this like really goofy wave. Like his hand almost doesn't have bones in it. He's just like, hey, Lieutenant Dan. And he's got his other hand like on his hip, like an old man. And one of my favorite memes is him waving, and then you see Pennywise from the newer versions of it waving back at Forrest Gump with a just a severed arm, and it just, oh my God, it cracks me up. So I think we could do that with Freddy, where he could just be waving at Lieutenant Dan with, with a severed hand, or even his own hand. I think that would be so funny. Oh. And then number 3, we have, these last 3 are just ridiculous for me, and I'm going to laugh a lot. I'm sorry. Number 3, I thought we could do Knocked Up. And specifically, I want Freddy to be in the Seth Rogen scene when he's out on the dance floor in the club and he's dancing, and his friends are like, look at him out there. He's only got one move, and it's that shaking the dice move. It's one of my favorite scenes of that movie. He shakes his hand and he throws it like he's throwing the dice, and it's just great. Like, what? Who thinks that's a good dance move? But it's just so Seth Rogen and his character, and it makes me laugh. And I just picture Freddy in a club, dance club, and he's trying to, I don't know, make friends or hit on somebody, and his friends, maybe, Jason and Michael Myers, are like, look at him over there. He's doing that one move, and Michael Myers is like, that's all he got. That's the only move he has. And he's taking his knife hands and he's just throwing things. We could even put something in his hand, like he's throwing something bad or throwing something evil. But I don't know. I just picture Freddy not having really good dance moves and being, like that embarrassing dad or somebody. So I think that's all he's got. That's all he's got. God love him. Okay. Number 2, Showgirls. Now you can pretty much replace him in any scene that Elizabeth's in when she plays Nomi in Showgirls. But if I had to pick just one, it's going to be when she is watching the girls on stage, when she gets the part. She gets the part of playing in the, I don't know what it was. I think it was called like Venus or something. At the Stardust, and she's watching the girls because they're like, you got to pick up the moves, so watch them. And the girls are taking their fingers and they're going like, ha ha, like that, like in front of their face, like they're making like a 5 in front of their face, like really fiercely. And she always has these like fierce scenes and this look on her face, like she just wants to, like, I don't know, rip everybody's eyes out, like, ha. And I just picture Freddy doing that with his knives and either like hurting himself, hurting somebody else. I hear the knives making noises every time they do it. So I like that scene. And I also like the scene where she's on her back and she's supposed to be like thrusting her hip up. I think he would be good at that too. Oh, and then, somebody says, oh, I like your sweater, or I like your outfit. And he says, thanks, it's Versace. Oh, I think that would be so funny. Such a great movie. And my number 1, which is where this list came from, because this came from the conversation I was talking about at the beginning of this, is I want Freddy to be in Team America World Police. So it's been a while since I've seen this movie, but the movie's great. And it's that one scene when they're in the desert and they have the one, I think it's Gary, the puppet, and they dressed him up like an Afghanistan person, and he's got hair all over his face, and they're like, well, just make, if you need our help, or whatever, just here's the sign, and it's him like going crazy with his hands. And he's in the Jeep, and he finally starts to make it, and they're like, I can't tell if he's making the sign, what is he doing? And he's like making this like crazy sign with his hands, like swinging his hands back and forth. I just said that would be so funny to have Freddy in there instead. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please, please, please rent that movie, or at least just, YouTube that one little part. The whole movie is hysterical. So, what other movies would be good to replace with Freddy, Mr. Kruger? Let me know in the comments. This was just such a silly thing, but I just had to get it out, and it was easier for me to come up with 10. I just thought it was so fun. So thanks for listening to me babble about this. Again, if you have any other ideas for lists, obviously this list came out of nowhere the other night, and I just went with it. So it's fun. Good times. It makes me laugh, and that's what these are for. So thanks again for listening. Comment if you want. Please subscribe to our YouTube page if you haven't already. We really want to build up our YouTube subscribers. And I look forward to talking with you guys when I come up with my next list or whatever's on my mind. Talk to you then. Bye.